Hello everyone, in this video, I'll be translating and summarizing the latest Urdu broadcast by Moeed Pirzada to make it accessible for our English-speaking audience. Let's go through the key developments and insights in Moeed Pirzada's words. For the first time in print, an Indian newspaper, News 18, has confirmed via sources in the Pakistani embassy and American sources in Washington that Pakistan's Army Chief General Asim Munir or Field Marshal Asim Munir is arriving in Washington on the evening of June 12th. The news portal also confirmed that he has been officially invited by the Pentagon and the Department of Defense to attend the 250th anniversary celebrations of the US military, specifically a military parade. In addition to him, leadership from other key international military partners of the US have also been invited. However, the Indian newspaper claims that General Asim Munir will also have meetings concerning Afghanistan and China, but there is some disappointment or skepticism that India's concerns may not be addressed in those meetings. I will further comment on this later. Keep in mind that Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, or PTI, and various civic groups focused on human rights have decided to stage a large protest in Washington on June 14th against General Asim Munir's visit. I expect they have obtained the necessary permits because the military parade is also scheduled on June 14th in downtown Washington, although the protest is set to occur at a location significantly distant from the parade. If the protest is large, it will carry major significance. It will serve as a way for Pakistani Americans to convey their disapproval to the American government, the Trump administration, Congress and policy circles, showing they do not support current policies regarding Pakistan and strongly condemn what is happening in the country. This will create pressure. Indian newspapers have also highlighted this aspect. The second major development concerns former Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan, whose case is scheduled for an important hearing on June 11th in the Islamabad High Court regarding the Al-Qadir University Trust case, also commonly referred to as the £190 million case. His and Bushra Bibi's, his wife's, release is being anticipated. I will share details on this as well. Other developments are also in front of me, such as India's DRDO, the Defence Research and Development Organisation, claiming to have developed a highly effective supersonic missile named Rudram-4, with a speed exceeding 550 kilometers per hour. It is reportedly a fourth-generation missile. There's also news related to Pakistan's budget, but before I move to all that, let me remind you. If you haven't yet subscribed to this YouTube channel, please do so. Click the bell icon and turn on all notifications. Also, I have created a WhatsApp channel which over 300 people have already joined. I keep sharing its link in the pinned tweet, description and comments. Join that for direct updates and communication. Now let's turn to Imran Khan and Bushra Bibi. If you search Google or check Pakistani newspapers with Imran Khan, you'll notice that in the last 2 or 3 days there have been no major headlines related to this case. Not in Dawn, Tribune, ARI or Dunya. Maybe there are small news items, but nothing headline-worthy. However, at least a dozen Indian newspapers have headlined that Imran Khan's release is expected on June 11th from the Islamabad High Court. These include the Times of India, Hindustan Times, CNN 18, Mint, India Today and several others, though I can't recall all their names off the top of my head. They all seem to rely on the same agency source, quoting PTI's acting chairman, Barrister Gohar Khan, who had said before Eid that Imran Khan will walk free on June 11th. Indian sources analyse that General Asim Munir is currently under pressure due to Operation Sindhuri, and that's why he has assumed the title of Field Marshal, to legitimise and secure his own authority. They also argue that Imran Khan's announced protest, which he intends to lead even from jail, adds more pressure on the general and his team. This is the Indian media's perspective, and well, I do not necessarily agree with it. They believe this pressure may make Imran Khan's release on June 11th possible, but what is the actual situation? We can look at what Alima Khan, Imran Khan's sister, said in her brief 5 to 6 minute press talk on PTI's YouTube channel. She said that Noreen Khan and Uzma Khan were able to meet Imran Khan after much waiting. Names like Salman Akram Raja and Yazul Niazi, who are his lead spokespersons or lawyers, were also on the visitor list. But Alima Khan herself was not able to meet him. She said Imran Khan is concerned about inflation and how people couldn't afford sacrificial animals for Eid. In some cases, groups had to pool money to buy one goat. He expressed sorrow over this. Imran also reportedly instructed the KP Chief Minister, Ali Amin Gandapur, that no budget should be presented without his approval. Nowhere in Alima Khan's talk did she mention or express hope regarding the June 11th hearing in the Islamabad High Court. She emphasized that Imran Khan is not seeking any deal and stands for the constitution, law, and the people's vote. This implies that there's little optimism about any real progress in the hearing scheduled just a few hours away. Also, this Al-Qadir University trust case, according to many observers, lacks real substance. As if Moeed Pirzada had been accused of sexually harassing a cockroach and now the cockroach is testifying in court. That's how absurd this case appears. The government has failed to show how the state, whether it's the State Bank of Pakistan, the Supreme Court or the government, suffered any financial loss due to the case. So why was the case even created? There were two main reasons to portray Imran Khan and his wife Bushra Bibi as corrupt, especially in connection with a major real estate tycoon, and to delay and drag things on as a tactic of legal harassment. So what might happen? As we saw during the last hearing on June 5th before Eid, the prosecutor said they weren't prepared because they were only informed late the previous night. He requested more time. It's possible that the prosecutor doesn't show up again. Maybe he's sick from eating too much during Eid, or has a family emergency, or shows a medical certificate. Any of this could happen. It's possible that the judge may not be able to come. Maybe he becomes ill after Eid-ul-Adha, or some issue arises. I don't think so. Or perhaps the date will just be given, but I don't believe any substantive progress will occur on that day. As for Barrister Salman Safdar, like Barrister Gohar, he firmly believes that this case has no substance. If just an hour of hearing happens on it, everything will become clear, it'll separate milk from water, and the case will fall apart. But I don't think we'll see any such development on June 11th. Even if bail is granted to both Imran Khan and Bushra Bibi, Imran Khan's release is unlikely. Only Bushra Bibi could potentially be released. If her release does occur, it would be a major positive development in Pakistani politics. My analysis is that, clearly, whenever Imran Khan is released, some sort of understanding will have been reached between him and the establishment, particularly the GHQ or Pakistan Army Headquarters. If he is released, what he will say or not say in public will have been agreed upon. Naturally, GHQ's understanding is that if Imran Khan comes out, he is a political leader and will speak out, hold meetings and demand others' releases. But he will likely have red lines, boundaries he won't cross, and he'll allow the government to function. For example, he'll agree to General Asim Munir's extension. Until a broad-based agreement or understanding is achieved between Imran Khan and Pakistan's generals, his release from Adiala jail won't happen. Not in the way many podcasters try to convince you it will. Anywhere in the world where trust is lacking, negotiations become necessary. Even between India and Pakistan, there is a lot of rhetoric. India talks about splitting Pakistan into 3 parts or launching another attack. Pakistan is not saying such things publicly, but in the end, effective negotiation is required. And for that, a third party is needed to build trust. I've often said that China could play that role. It is both an upper riparian state and a regional power. China has relations with both India and Pakistan and is principally against militancy and terrorism. Similarly, PTI or Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf also needs a negotiator or mediator that both sides can trust. Unfortunately, I feel that neither side currently has such a negotiator. I once expected Ali Amin Gandapur could play that role when Imran Khan made him CM of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa because of his alleged connections with GHQ. But Ali Amin succumbed to pressure from GHQ, became weak, and accepted it so completely that he could not play the functional, effective role he was supposed to on behalf of Imran Khan and PTI. I also hope for an external mediator, maybe someone from Saudi Arabia, the UAE, or even Turkish leadership, but no such figure has emerged. Keep in mind that all such negotiations happen behind the scenes. For them to succeed, they must not be openly discussed. In Pakistan, even if nothing happens, it's invented and debated. Many podcasters do this, and I think it creates obstacles. As I said in my last vlog, even Francis Fukuyama was quoted regarding such dynamics. Now that I've covered this effectively, let me shift to another key issue. GHQ must realize that Pakistan has already gained the positive side of brinkmanship with India. The future relationship with India seems very difficult. Tensions can escalate at any time. Just recently, India's DRDO, that's the Defence Research and Development Organization, announced that they've developed a supersonic missile called Rudram-4. It's their fourth-generation missile, and well, it's 5 times faster than the speed of sound. Rudram-1 had a 200-kilometer range and was anti-radar. Rudram-2 had a 300-kilometer range. Rudram-3 had a 550-kilometer range, and now Rudram-4 has a range beyond 550 kilometers. These are surface-to-ground missiles which can be launched via fighter jets. Similarly, Pakistan also conducted a test of a supersonic missile earlier this June from a JF-17 jet. The missile CM-400 AKG is of Chinese origin, and Pakistan claimed in 2004 that they possessed hypersonic missiles. But regardless of how you see this, it's an arms display, not a solution. The real issue between India and Pakistan lies in water tensions. India wants to renegotiate the Indus Water Treaty, and tensions can flare up any time. I believe General Asim Munir, who is currently at the zenith of his power, supported by the US, might use this vantage point to rearrange Pakistan's political deck. But we've seen no such evidence on the ground yet. Now, briefly looking at Pakistan's federal budget, the finance minister announced a budget of 17.6 trillion rupees. Note that this is the federal budget. Budgets of Punjab, KP, Sindh, Balochistan and AJK will follow. A 20% increase has been recommended for the defence budget, now set at 2.5 trillion rupees or approximately $9 billion. This is slightly more than last year's 8 billion. Details are lacking, no breakdown on how this money will be spent. It's said to cover equipment purchases, operations and training across Army, Air Force and Navy. The growth target is set at 4.2%. Although the previous targets for GDP and growth were not achieved. Inflation is claimed to be under control, yet even small cars under 850 cc like the Suzuki now face an 18% sales tax. The Cabinet has proposed a 10% salary increase for government employees and a 7% pension increase. While not large, these measures indicate that the government acknowledges inflation, contrary to their public rhetoric. They claim, like Javed Chaudhry does, that inflation doesn't matter, affordability does. But when only a small percentage of people can afford vehicles or daily goods, that is inflation. Also recall the World Bank report on poverty in Pakistan. They revised their poverty benchmark from $4.65 per day to $4.20 per day. Under this, 44.7%, almost 45% of Pakistanis are at or below the poverty line. This revision reflects the rising cost of basic goods. You now need $4.20 to afford the same basket of food and essentials. That's clear evidence of severe inflation, even if the government doesn't acknowledge it. In contrast, inflation in India is lower than in Pakistan. This must be admitted. Now to an interesting development in the United States. America's largest Sikh Gurdwara, which claims 5,000 weekly worshippers, has written a public letter to the US Attorney General Pam Bondi, accusing the Hindu-American Foundation, HAF, of acting as a front for BJP and Modi's government. They allege that HAF has facilitated meetings between Indian leaders and American lawmakers without registering as a foreign agent, which is a crime under the Foreign Agent Registration Act, or FARA. Al Jazeera supported this claim in a detailed report saying that HAF, once a pure charity, became politicized after 2014 under Modi's government. HayF denies all allegations, claiming to be a tax-exempt charity unrelated to politics, but now the Department of Justice will investigate, requesting full disclosure of HayF's finances and political activities. This case is tied to anger among Sikh communities in the West, especially after the killing of Sikh activist Nijar in Canada, which was blamed on Indian agents. Later, the FBI arrested an Indian agent planning to kill a Sikh lawyer and activist in New York. Such transnational crimes are increasingly coming to light. I'll keep sharing details as they emerge. That wraps up our translation of Moeed Pirzada's video. I hope this English version helped you understand his message better. Please like, share and subscribe to Awami Lens to help our community grow. Don't forget to leave a comment below and let me know what you thought of this effort.